All new pro wrestling show. Man, oh man, what a week has it been. We're going to get to Mean Gene, WWE Hall of Famer, passes away. We're going to get to the story of that. Plus, the Raw Ring Report, where chaos is heading everywhere with Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley doing the most. Plus, the SmackDown Ring Report as WWE Champion Daniel Bryan tries to target the fans. And more on All Elite Wrestling and Hot Topics, the huge pep rally they had to announce the launch. More things yet to come, whereas the all new pro wrestling show starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome once again to the Pro Wrestling Show. This week, man oh man, I'm so glad you're here with me. Thanks for watching. Join in the conversation using that hashtag right here. Use PSW, acronym stands for Pro Wrestling Show here on Connect. So glad you're here. Let's get to some sad news that we have to report. That when we first left last week's show, we found out the passing of WWE Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund, a famed wrestling announcer who passed away at the age of 76. Mean Gene Okerlund was the face of backstage interviewing in various promotions. Mean Gene got his start in the AWA with Vern Gagne, worked his way up to become a prominent broadcaster in the WWE during the heyday in the 1980s throughout the 90s, and became a fixture in World Championship Wrestling, WCW, through its inception. Well, not due to its demise in 2001. Mean Gene Okerlund returned back to WWE and finished his career until his final days. Mean Gene Okerlund paved the way for a whole lot of broadcasters. He paved way for me, paved the way for people like Jeremy Borash, a lot of the current crop of announcers. Mean Gene Okerlund would get to the bottom of the story and find a way to make it funny, entertaining, and credible. You know, his star has shined bright, and I can say this: when they did the Raw Ring Report, I can say we'll do it with the Raw Ring Report now. But Hulk Hogan did a heartfelt, warm tribute to Mean Gene Okerlund, recalling Mean Gene's life work, and Mean Gene getting his final send off by the Hulkster as he should be. And I'm glad Mean Gene Okerlund made an effect in my life to do wrestling broadcasts and be a fair and balanced. And that's one thing I'm gonna miss by Mean Gene. You can always go back to the WWE Network and watch Mean Gene's work. Mean Gene had the gift of gab, and he would truly be missed. I'm telling you, Mean Gene, God bless you. You won't be forgotten. I'll tell you that right now. We're gonna keep your name out there as much as we can. Well, speaking of that, man, Monday Night Raw kicked off with Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley brawl in a fist fight out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden the fight escalated with John Cena kicking off the show. He was trying to, feel his way rounds on Raw until he got interrupted by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre interrupted him, saying that John Cena is nothing. He was the chosen one. Now he's going to take John Cena's title where he can be the face of WWE. And the way Drew McIntyre could do that is he tried to go out of Cena, but it was just a brawl. So it was a 6-man tag team match where Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Dean Ambrose teamed up against John Cena, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins. At the final end of the match, Seth Rollins pinned Dean Ambrose, the Intercontinental Champion, and Seth Rollins felt revigorated, energized. He went backstage. He noticed on the Titantron Triple H. he came and walked up to Triple H and asked Triple H and demanded Triple H for the Intercontinental title match. And Triple H gave him the title match for later on that night. Well, you know, we'll talk about that. But at the end, Seth Rollins went against Dean Ambrose, and he didn't win the title due to Lashley interfering and causing him to lose, causing him a chance to become Intercontinental Champion. So you can tell Bobby Lashley is embroiled with a feud with Seth Rollins, and I don't think this is not over yet. So we'll see what more story to come between these two. Plus, well, not Hulk Hogan, but the Royal Rumble is coming up, and everyone's jockeying for position, even with the women's division and stuff. As Nia Jax interrupted Ronda Rousey, who was a guest on Alexa Bliss's new talk show Moment of Bliss, after Ronda said that she wants to go against the best the WWE women's division has to offer, and she wants one person she wants to go against to prove herself, and she want to go against Sasha Banks. Well, Sasha came out there, was about to accept the challenge until, you know, what we said earlier about Nia. Well, it was a match between Sasha and Nia, and I was kind of thinking Nia was going to win and get another rematch, but that didn't happen, as Sasha Banks defeat Nia and earn herself a shot at the Raw Women's title at Royal Rumble against Ronda Rousey. So it's going to be a very interesting match with those two. I'll say those two. Plus, the Revival gets one more chance of opportunity against Rude and Gable for the Raw Tag Team titles, but this time in a lumberjack match. Well, at the end, the Revival didn't get the job done, and they never won the tag team titles. It's like with the Revival, they kind of be like, you think they're closer and closer to win the tag team titles, and then, you know, happenstances happen, and it just don't go their way and stuff like that. But you know, hey, it is what it is on that. And I think that's it for the Raw report. Ember Moon and Apollo Crews getting momentum, heading toward Royal Rumble, where they'll be in the Royal Rumble match over Alicia Fox and Jinder Mahal. Don't know what was going on with that lack of communication and stuff. So I think that was it for the Raw Ring report. But hey, here's what it is. Alright, let's move over to the SmackDown Ring report. On the SmackDown Ring report this week, oh yeah, I forgot on the Raw. We'll get to SmackDown later. But on the Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar were in a face-to-face, but Braun kept provoking Brock to come out there, calling him a coward and stuff like that for their big title fight at the Royal Rumble for the Universal title. It just, a lot of people are saying Braun kind of bombed, and he didn't do as well in the promos, and I guess Braun, they got a lot of work to do with Braun. So at Royal Rumble, Braun Strowman meets Brock Lesnar one-on-one. We'll see how that goes at Royal Rumble. Alright. Okay, that ends the Raw report. Let's move to the SmackDown report. Speaking of one world champion, Daniel Bryan kicked off SmackDown in the concession stand, of all places. And he berated and talked down to a whole bunch of the fans, talking about them eating, them buying other superstars' merchandises, and they're not healthy enough. Like, he's a health nut. He's the WWE champion. Well, Daniel Bryan started the show, and Daniel Bryan, man oh man, you know, he got defeated. R-Truth didn't try to take issue with him, and R-Truth got defeated. He put on a good fair fight, but he just couldn't match Daniel Bryan's tenacity. And Daniel Bryan, you know, look forward, but he got sneak tapped by AJ Styles, who was looking to return the favor. So AJ Styles looking forward to get his repeat, to become the champion once again at Royal Rumble, and see if he can do so. at the event against Daniel Bryan, who's on a wild man's warpath, I would say. Speaking of that, the show continued to move on with a tag team match between Samoa Joe teaming up with Andrade and Ciamas with the lovely and beautiful Selena Vega. Selena Vega. Yeah, Selena Vega, I'm going to say. Okay, I'm tongue tied. But against SmackDown's newest and rising superstar, Mustafa Ali and Rey Mysterio, who's been a SmackDown legend for y'all. Match was fast paced in a hurry, but at the end, Ray got pinned by Andrade, thus trying to say Andrade trying to jock in position to become the next Latino star, beating up a Latino established star, Rey Mysterio, and earning himself that distinction. Also, Carmella, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch did vignettes trying to say they're going to win the women's match to go against the champion Asuka and stuff. But on an interesting note, Miz keeps on bugging Shane McMahon to be his partner, but I kind of figured they was going to go for the tag team titles. It makes sense in a way because I was like, they keeping this buddy thing. They're going to eventually go for the tag team titles. But I didn't know it was going to be like that. But speaking of that, the tag team situation where the Bar, who are the tag team champions, had a lot on their plate, where they went against the Uso twins, Jimmy and Jay. Where we thought with Jimmy and Jay, if they won the match, they would get a title opportunity at the Royal Rumble against the Bar. Well, things didn't pan out so good for Jimmy and Jay after Mandy Rose came out. The gorgeous Mandy Rose came out in a bath towel cover up. You thought she was naked, and she was about to tease that she was going to take it off, and she cost Jimmy and Jay their opportunity in the tag team titles. And then it turns out that Mandy Rose was already in her wrestling gear, but she was just teasing. Oh, Mandy. But, this TVPG, so it's a kiddie program, so you don't want to be too much. So, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville met up with Naomi, who did a beatdown on them, gangster style, and left those two girls laying. Laying. Naomi acts like, an average black woman that if you get in her way, and, you have a girl fight, and it can be, but it's typically an average woman, who's black. And Naomi bringing that fever out of her, and just bringing that energy. I say she's energetic and she's passionate about don't come to her territory. But hey, as it's year 2019, everybody's coming to each other's territories, coming on defense to see what they can peek at. You get what I'm saying? All right. And we bring to speed you up to catch you up to speed with the Bar. Well, and Shane and Miz. Well, Miz bugged Shane and Steve on like let's go for the tag team titles. I told you earlier, Miz, had an indication, I had the inkling that Miz and Shane was gonna go for the titles. Well, Miz brought out the Bar, and the Bar was standing in the ring, and Miz challenged the Bar to a tag team championship match at the Royal Rumble, and the Bar kind of looked like they was dumbfounded, but they accepted the challenge. So it's going to be the Bar versus Shane McMahon and the Miz for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. That's unprecedented. We're going to see that for the first time. Man, for real? Shane McMahon, a tag team champion? Anything can happen in WWE. For real. Anything can happen. Anything. anything. And Shinsuke Nakamura continues to play mind games with Rusev. Well, Shinsuke said that it was Rusev's fault that Lana was injured because of him. Well, Shinsuke kind of playing mind games as usual, so we'll see if this gonna go lead further to Royal Rumble stuff. And finally, the women's were front and center in the main event. It was a triple threat match between Carmella, former champion, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte. Remember, this was you kind of think it was a SummerSlam rematch between these three without the title, but they was going forward for the title. Back and forth action. My pick was initially Charlotte, but Charlotte didn't get the job done. But Becky Lynch earns herself a championship match against Asuka one-on-one at the Royal Rumble. So we're gonna see that, come to full fruition at the Royal Rumble. You gotta wonder who else is gonna it's gonna be a twisted turn at Rumble. So we'll see on that. But that ends the SmackDown Ring Report. So when we come back, we're gonna have hot topics. We're gonna talk about AEW on the press conference this week. And man, it was important names that you knew that was coming, but you didn't see it coming as well. Another name. We'll have this and more when the All New Pro Wrestling Show returns. Right here, PSW, acronym stand for Pro Wrestling Show here on Man, oh man, glad you're here to be with us. Now, let's go to hot topics. On hot topics this week, all right, Impact Wrestling. Now, I know Impact Wrestling moved away and left Pop TV. They had their final broadcast on Pop, so they're no longer on Pop TV no more. They own the Pursuit channel. But for subscribers that don't have the Pursuit network, subscribers like specifically me, I know I'm a cable subscriber, but at the same time, there's no more Impact Wrestling on cable. It's on satellite. So what they're gonna do for a person like me, they're gonna do something better. If you have a Twitch account, now I know I have a Twitch account, I can follow Impact Wrestling and I can follow on Twitch. They want to reach as many as 30. They got a weird number 250,000 subscribers or something like that, viewers or something like that. I think 50,000 subscribers or something. It's in that range, 50,000 to 250. If I recall, Josh Matthews said that on the pay-per-view of Homecoming. So Impact found the home on one on the TV network, Pursuit on their own little parent company network, and the other one online on Twitch and stuff. They might well put it on YouTube if the next day or something. Do like MLW. When they be on BN Sports, then the next day you drop it on YouTube and folks can watch it from there. So hey, I'm just putting it out there. But they doing what's best for them and whatever monetized for them. So big up to Impact on that. And they had a good pay-per-view, but it was so-so, I would say, because it just didn't add up on stuff. Like Ty Valkyrie won the women's championship, the Knockouts title from Tessa Blanchard, where Gail Kim was special guest referee, and Gail was trying to was trying to call a job, but Tessa got in the way, and what do you do when you're trying to call it right down minimum when someone's provoking you and stuff like that? Plus, Rich Swann won the X Division title. Congratulating him. So Rich Swann is in their legions with becoming a WWE Cruiserweight champion and a TNA X Division Impact X Division champion. He won over Ethan Page, who I believe is going to be a future player in the business. Jake Chris, who's going to be a future player in the X Division. But Who else was in that? And Trey Miguel. They're gonna be players, I'm telling you. And Killer Cross made an appearance. Killer Cross ain't done yet. He's not done. And Cage, Eli Drake, and Abyss with their Monsters Ball. Abyss getting over for Eli Drake. Man, Eli looking good. Ed Edwards getting over, Moose putting over Eddie Edwards, making him look great. The tag team match between a phenomenal tag team match. I think that was the match of the night. The Lucha Brothers versus LAX. Spectacular for the tag team titles. Good showing, showcase, and even Johnny Impact and Cage were a good showing in Cage. But the phenomenal thing is Killer Cross he's sick, he's demented, he's twisted, but he fit his character, and he knows that because I follow him and stuff like that, and I told him that one time online, and he kind of took heed that, yeah. So what he did to Taya, powerbomb her through the fans, clever. I guess that what Don Callis was trying to say. Impact's gonna get more edgier, more wilder, because they don't have to have regulations on other networks and stuff like that to keep it low, keep it down, don't do too much and all that stuff. So they have free bases and free reign. So big up to Impact Wrestling on that. And I expect to see more of that edginess coming soon. Alright. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, held its press conference in Jacksonville, Florida. Just a mile, just like a couple, a half mile away, a street away from the WWE when they held their event, SmackDown, this past week. Well, AEW didn't cease to amaze me. They brought out the Young Bucks, Cody, Heyman Page, MJF, who's going to be a future player in the business. I'm telling you, a star of tomorrow. Mark my word. Brandy Rose, Britt Baker. They're going to have everybody that was participating all in. People who wasn't there, like Ray, he's in WWE. So he's held down. But it was just phenomenal. A phenomenal, showing. Conrad Thompson was even there. I don't know what kind of partnership Conrad and AEW got, but hey, it's going to seem legit. Well, another big name that came and signed with AEW is none other than Chris Jericho. And signing his AEW contract with the AEW president, Tony Khan, and Chris Jericho is going to be a major player. That's one thing I say. You need to have one veteran who believes in the talent and is going to help the company and take it to another level, turn that rocket fuel up and turn it up to a notch to give it instant credibility, give it the credibility, give it the athleticism, and give it the professionalism it needs to be healthy competition for WWE. And WWE, we'll get to that. But another person who signed with AEW had a confrontation with Heyman Page, and it was packed. As Neville, he appeared and he's going to make his reign, makes his territory against Neville. So it's going to be interesting. I think this is going to happen. They're going to have their first match in AEW. But the thing is, AEW announced their second event is going to take place May 26th, on a Sunday, in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the MGM Grand Arena. Now, the MGM Grand Arena has been synonymous with wrestling for a long time. Many people thought that they was gonna go to. They could go to the T-Mobile Arena. I guess they got the money to, but it's a WWE type of arena, and the Thomas Mack Center is somewhat like a WWE arena as well. The Orleans Arena has been used before, I think, with Global Force Wrestling when they did their tapings. But the MGM Grand Arena makes sense because there's the more seats in the arena. They want to surpass All In when they had 10,000 seats and surpass even more when that's what AEW was following arenas and stuff like that. But the MGM Grand Arena was the longtime home of WCW Halloween Havoc. So All In, AEW coming back to that arena is going to make more prestige and more credibility coming into it. So, bigs up for AEW. And and some people saying it when I first saw it, I was like, well, it's kind of low. It's a low attendance rate, but when I looked at it and I said these folks are fired up and energized, hey, you got to get with it. So AEW is going to be here to stay, but they never did announce what TV contract they are. I think they're still under negotiation, but I'm hearing now. We told you last week that it was going to be WGN or they need to get WGN or Spike since they was on WGN for the All In special. But even better, they want to be on TBS and TNT. Now if they get on there, man oh man, the game finna change again. It's finna be the Monday Night Wars again, but it's finna be the wrestling wars again between how WWE went against WCW and WCW put WWE and gave them healthy competition. Same that way AEW on the same. But I said if they be on TBS, they good to go because TBS was the one that brought WCW into the picture. So bigs up for that. Also, speaking of that, AEW fans that were in attendance in Jacksonville area who went to this WWE event got turned away by WWE. And because they're wearing the AEW shirts, WWE kind of looking at it now like they help their competition. So, man, oh man, for real, for real. How could you do that? WWE tell another wrestling company, hey, you can't do that. That's not right. That's not right. So, hey, it is what it is. But the big story is, where would Kenny Omega stand? Will he get that offer that WWE offer him and go to WWE after he made reports that he's leaving New Japan? Or will he join his friends and go to AEW? So that's the big question. Also, I'm thinking he's going to join his friends at AEW. I could be wrong, but hey, I'm always right. So I'm thinking Kenny Omega is going to leave Japan and go straight to America and join AEW. I can see that. Also, SCU, they signed with AEW. Cass Daniels and Scorpio Sky. So, alright. And finally, now we get an indication that with the people who handle the WWE and stuff like that, we got an indication that Lacey Evans and EC3 debuted on Main Event. So it's an indication. Is they officially the members of the Raw roster? That's what I'm thinking. But hey, it is what it is. I know a lot of people saying Nikki Cross appeared on a SmackDown Live event. I think she's SmackDown bound, so hey, it is what it is on that. she's SmackDown bound. I can tell for now. I can tell. But we'll see where their hat lands between these superstars going forward. All right, that does it for the Pro Wrestling Show. I have been your host, Kendrick Dick, saying so long. We'll see you next week here on the Pro Wrestling Show.